And that, Atlas, is precisely why the Babylonians tracked the planets so carefully. Rigor, patience, dignity.
Professor.
Yes, that was me, and I refuse to be embarrassed about it. Because what just happened is, quite honestly, one of the most interesting things the human body does all day.
She's not wrong. Everybody does it, about 20 times a day, and almost nobody understands it. So today, the real science, the secret history, and the surprising social life of the fart. Let's start with the basics, because they're stranger than you'd think. The average person passes gas somewhere between 10 and 20 times a day, roughly half a liter to 1.5 liters of it. Everyone, every day.
And most of it is astonishingly boring, chemically speaking. Over 99% of a fart is completely odorless. Nitrogen, hydrogen, a little carbon dioxide, and some methane. Part of it is simply air you swallowed while eating and talking. The rest is made by bacteria in your gut, quietly fermenting the fiber you can't digest.
So a fart is basically bacterial exhaust fumes.
Beautifully put. And here is the twist. The smell is less than 1% of the whole thing. That entire reputation rests on a trace of sulfur compounds, mostly hydrogen sulfide, the rotten egg gas. A small amount does an enormous amount of damage.
There's even a genuine plot twist in the chemistry. Only about half of people produce methane at all. You either carry the microbes that make it, or you simply don't. Which means, in a very real sense, people come in different blends.
And if you want to make more of it, eat beans. We simply don't have the enzyme to break down a sugar in them called raffinose, so it sails straight down to your gut bacteria, who throw a feast. The more they get to ferment, the more gas you make.
Same goes for cabbage, broccoli, and sprouts. And those add sulfur, which is where the real stink comes from. Onions, garlic, even sugar-free gum all pull the same trick.
And here's the lovely part. A good gassy day is often just a sign of a well-fed, healthy gut. Those same bacteria are producing compounds that keep your insides in good repair.
So the smelliest person at dinner might just be the healthiest. Yes, Newt, you too.
Now, humans have found this funny for a very, very long time. In fact, the oldest recorded joke we have anywhere on Earth is a fart joke. It's a Sumerian proverb written down nearly 4,000 years ago, older than the pyramids at Giza were to the Romans. Humanity's very first written punchline was about breaking wind. Some things, it seems, are simply eternal.
And it never stopped. Aristophanes did it, Chaucer did it, Shakespeare did it. But my favorite entry comes from a founding father. In 1781, Benjamin Franklin, inventor, statesman, genius, sat down and wrote a perfectly straight-faced scientific essay proposing that the great academies of Europe stop fussing over lofty nonsense and instead invent a medicine that would make human wind smell as sweet as perfume.
He was quietly mocking the pompous science of his day. He gave it a very respectable title, A Letter to a Royal Academy, and signed off with a pun that next to something so genuinely useful, the rest of science was scarcely worth a fart hing.
And Franklin was in good company. Some of history's greatest minds were quietly obsessed.
Mozart wrote a comic song for his friends whose title politely translates as "Kiss My Backside," and his letters are full of the same giggling toilet humor. A musical genius with the sense of humor of a 9-year-old.
And Martin Luther, the man who launched the Reformation, claimed he fought off the devil with one. His genuine advice: when Satan comes to torment you with doubt, you break wind at him and send him packing.
Faith, philosophy, and fine music, all of it at some point undone by a fart.
The Romans, though, took it a step further. They thought holding it in could actually hurt you. According to the historian Suetonius, the Emperor Claudius once considered passing a law that would formally permit guests to break wind at his banquets, because he'd heard of a man who nearly died from holding it in out of politeness.
Now, historians treat that story as most likely a rumor, not real policy. Suetonius wrote it down decades later, and he did enjoy a bit of gossip. But the underlying worry wasn't entirely silly. You can't actually die from holding one in, but the gas doesn't simply vanish. Some of it is reabsorbed into your bloodstream and eventually breathed back out through your lungs.
So to be clear, if you hold it in long enough, you exhale it.
We are all in the end very slightly recycling.
Which brings us to the greatest performer you've probably never heard of. In the 1890s, the biggest solo act in Paris was a man named Joseph Pujol, stage name Le Pétomane. Pujol had discovered he could draw air in and release it at will, with total control. He headlined the Moulin Rouge. He imitated cannon fire and thunderstorms. He could play tunes. And at his peak, he earned up to 20,000 francs a week, out-earning nearly every other performer in Europe except Houdini.
A world-class breath control athlete who simply chose an unusual instrument. And when it was over, he went home and quietly ran a bakery.
Now, everything we've said so far assumes you're standing on Earth. Take it into space, and the humble fart becomes a genuine engineering problem.
Remember those flammable gases, the hydrogen and methane? In a sealed spacecraft with almost no airflow, they don't drift away. They linger. After the Apollo era, NASA genuinely studied whether an astronaut's own gas could become a fire hazard.
Which is why NASA quietly engineers the menu to keep the crew's output down. Beans, cabbage, and sprouts are, essentially, banned from the launch pad. Even the crew of Artemis II, flying around the moon, got the reminder, mind the wind.
But here is where it stops being a punchline and becomes genuinely astonishing. Because almost every animal does this, and a few have turned it into something remarkable.
First, some myth-busting. Cows are always blamed for the climate, but most of their methane comes out the front end. It's mainly burping, not farting. Termites, on the other hand, genuinely matter. Collectively, they produce a striking share of the world's methane.
And a rare few animals don't seem to do it at all. The sloth is the famous example. Its digestion is so slow that the gas is reabsorbed and breathed out instead.
But the best one, the one that genuinely won a science prize, is the herring.
In 2004, a team of marine biologists won an Ig Nobel Prize for discovering that herring communicate by releasing tiny bursts of bubbles from their back end. They called them, I promise this is the real scientific term, fast repetitive tick sounds, FRT.
They fart more at night and more in big groups. The pitch is too high for predators to hear, so an entire school can stay together in the dark, chatting in a language made entirely of bubbles.
So think about what we've actually got here. A thing every human is quietly ashamed of turns out to be ancient, universal, the world's oldest joke, a Parisian art form, a headache for NASA, a window into your own gut bacteria, and, for the humble herring, an actual language.
The most embarrassing thing your body does is also one of the most interesting, which, honestly, is the whole point of this channel.
To dignity, which occasionally makes a small green cloud.
On that note, I'm Atlas.
And I'm Professor Faraday.
And now, you're the most interesting person in the room. If you learned one thing worth repeating, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.